I didn't speak up for like a couple of minutes. The other person, he was like, "Hello, hello, Virat bhai, Rohit bhai, everyone, Rane Dada, all experienced players." And then me coming in, I was searching for my seat. Where should I stand? Should I wait everyone to sit down and then I'll look for.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to a brand new show, Winners from Baseline. In this show, we'll be talking to winners about the recent success, their past performances, and even their failures, which they managed to overcome. So, without much ado, let's welcome India's batting sensation, someone who's very dear to us. It's Showtime, folks, Prithvi Shaw. Welcome to the show, Prithvi.
Thank you, sir.
So, Prithvi, before we talk about your recent success, let's take a step back and look at your journey with Baseline. We signed you at Baseline in November of 2017, right when you had turned 18 years old. So, first of all, we need to thank your father, Mr. Pankaj Shaw, and also Mr. Makarand Vengankar, one of India's renowned sports journalists and a cricket buff, who actually helped facilitate that meeting. So, when I met you for the very first time, you came across as a kid who was very confident. But deep down inside, Prithvi, I could also see someone who had tons of innocence. So if I have to ask you now, how different is Prithvi from then versus now?
Different. I mean, nothing has changed. I mean, I'm more friendly to Baseline now. I was too shy when I joined first. Uh, is correctly said after my 18th birthday. I was signed by Baseline. I really appreciate what you guys have you know done for me so far, and from the start itself, everyone started liking me, and we were like a family. Personally, the difference, I think not much difference except bit of batting changes. That's it. I think everything else is everything else is the same team.
Then Prithvi, in early 2018, you see the high of captaining India in the under 19 ODI World Cup, and you win that trophy for us. You come back and you get selected for the Delhi Capital team. You have to miss the first few matches and then you get a chance. And moment you get your chance, you take it like a fish to water. You start tonking bowlers all over the park. No one can forget that six that you hit off Mitchell Johnson, who was at that point in time one of the topmost bowlers in the world, for a six at deep mid wicket. So at that point in time, did you ever feel that life is all too easy?
I think when this under 19 World Cup happened, and obviously we won that World Cup, and we were playing semi-final. I still remember we before the semi-final game, IPL auction was there, and everyone was tense that who is gonna get selected, which team who's gonna play, how much they will pay this guy and all everything. A lot of things were going on in the head, but we knew at some point, like, I might get chance in any other team. I just wanted to play the IPL because it's such a huge tournament, IPL, and very big opportunity for us, for the youngster, to play that game and then go forward from there, play for India. So I was really happy when Delhi picked me up, and then afterwards, like you said, like you mentioned, I didn't play a few games. I actually didn't play 6 games because Gauti Bhai was there. Gautam Gambhir bhai was playing. So yeah, after that I got the chance to play, and I thought it was a good start, uh, that year 2018, for the IPL. And I think from there, I was like, just I wanted to grab the opportunity what Delhi Capitals gave me, and I think it worked really well.
And Prithvi, after that, you get selected for the Indian team, the senior team, for the test tour to England, and you get selected for a couple of matches.
Yeah.
You didn't get a chance to play there, but I'm sure it must have been a very valuable experience. So can you share some light with us on about that?
I think I was playing India 8 tour. We were no, we were not touring. We were playing in India only. We were playing in Chinnaswamy. Yeah, we were in Bangalore. So we were playing against South Africa A. India A versus South Africa A. So that time when I went back to the room, I scored 150 something that day against South Africa A. So went back to the room. We were staying in Ritz Carlton, and then after my shower and everything, I got a call that you have been picked up for the India England series for the last two matches. I thought someone is like trying to joke, something like that, because I never expected that early. Uh, the Indian call. So I was a bit shocked. I didn't speak up for like a couple of minutes. The other person, he was like, "Hello, hello, hello, hello." So yeah, I was really happy. And then when I went there, when I went to join the team, I think my first experience I would share is getting in the dressing room was something very big for me, because I could see when I entered the dressing room, I could see Virat Bhai and big stars like who have already played 10, 12 years of international cricket. They're sitting right in front of me, and Virat Bhai, Rohit Bhai, everyone, Rane Dada, all experienced players. And then me coming in, I was searching for my seat. Where should I stand? Should I wait everyone to sit down, and then I'll look for any seat empty? So yeah, but I think they made me quite comfortable. They started talking to me as if I was there with them since long time. They didn't let me. I was a bit nervous that time. Looking all the seniors, but they handled me quite well. And they mentioned that if you come here, there is no senior or junior anymore. You are not junior anymore, and we are not senior to you. Everyone is equal here. So that made me a bit okay. I was like, okay, fine, I can talk to people around. So I mean, it was crazy. I mean, I can't explain it, with my words, but it was something very proud moment for me.
Then Prithvi, from England, you come back, you get selected for the home series against West Indies, and you were about to make your debut at Rajkot. And I come to meet you just one day before your debut. Uh, I had actually spoken to your father a few days back. He didn't want to go to Rajkot because he was superstitious. Even I was superstitious, but I still came there to meet you. We have an early dinner, and you obviously order your favorite food, which is chili chicken and egg fried rice. And while having dinner, you said, "Sir, I'm thinking about tomorrow's match. Do you want to play a game of TT?" And I said, "Well, yes, Prithvi, we can play a quick one, and then you should sleep early." And you said, "Sir, today I might sleep a little late because I will be thinking about the match, but let's go and play." So, do you remember the scoreline?
Yeah, I won.
The scoreline was 5-0. I will not mention in whose favor. Let that be a mystery. But we move forward. So next day you go make your debut. It's a dream debut that everyone probably would love to have that for them as well, or themselves as well. And you score a century, and everything was kind of moving in the right direction. Uh, at that point in time, post that, you were also endorsing a lot of brands. Probably you were one of the guys who was endorsing the most number of brands as well, apart from a couple of your other senior cricket stalwarts who were around. And one question which kind of really used to come up, and it came up number of times from people, from media, that has a lot of money at a young age. Was it too much for you to handle?
First of all, I never looked at the money, all those things, money, all the business mind thing. Like my dad used to do all those things, and obviously Baseline was there to help me out with those things. So I never looked, all these things about the money. How am I getting? How much am I getting? My dad was there, and obviously Baseline was there with me every time. So I didn't really have to, actually go in that area. How much money I'm getting and all. I was just at that time I was just focusing on my game. My dad used to say every time, "You don't worry about all these things. We are there to handle. You just play your game. You just enjoy the cricket."
No, and there are two sides to every coin, right? And people
Hmm.
never saw the other side of the coin. And I must add that a lot of people don't know how much you help your old friends from Virar, how much
Hmm.
you've helped people during COVID, right? When you were housed in the house at Alibag in your
Hmm.
Kaka's place, you've helped people there as well. And, that's the other side of you, which you've never spoken about. But, that's what makes you very unique, that you do your things, but you keep quiet about it. You
Hmm.
don't, go talking about things that
Hmm.
way. Okay. Then Prithvi, end of 2018, you go on this tour of Australia. You were really looking forward to this tour. But then in the first practice match itself, where you were the highest scorer, you twist your ankle and you miss the first two test matches. We all were hoping against hope that you will recover in time, but it doesn't happen. And you are sent back to India to rehabilitate in NCA. But that time, a lot of controversy and a lot of conspiracy theories start floating around in media, in cricketing circles, that Prithvi has been sent back because of lifestyle issues, because of disciplinary issues. Please share some light on that.
But when I was sent back, like no one like really bothered about asking me how's your ankle, rather than asking me why did Indian team has sent you back home. It was simple. Like I was my three ligament. It was three ligament tears, and I had to go back. They tried for. They were pushing quite well because they were hoping till third match I might get ready, and I was recovering quite nicely, but after some point it just stopped, and because they pushed really hard, to get better, but at some point it just stopped, and I had to go back to the NCA. But somehow I don't know, rumors came out that Prithvi has been sent back home because of his whatever discipline or his lifestyle. Obviously people are going to say things, they don't know what has happened to me, and I can't stop them. If I stop them, two more questions will come on me, so I rather just keep quiet and just do my work. And it was a difficult situation for me because scoring so much runs in 2018, then going to Australia, getting an opportunity to perform there, but injury came, and then I was sent back to the NCA for my rehab thing. I really can't say anything, to all those people who spread all these things. They have their own work. They have only. I feel I do feel angry sometimes, but you just can't go them and say anything to them because it's wrong. I don't want to be the same person, and I feel if I react to them, uh, it will come on my game. So I feel I thought I better be just quiet and do my work, do my rehab. So yeah, I don't really bother listening to all these things what people say. If they're saying life, they because of my lifestyle or discipline they send me back home, which was obviously wrong. And I really don't know what does that mean. He changed his lifestyle. I'm wearing clothes, I'm wearing the same thing what I used to wear. So I really didn't get the main factor, that what lifestyle are you talking about, whatever it might be. So obviously outside the field, we can do whatever we want, you know but when I'm on the field, I'm 100% giving to my team every time. I'm not just talking about Indian team, I'm talking about the club games as well, in the Mumbai club games or Ranji Trophy games, whichever game I play. When I'm entering that rope inside the field, I'm full focus, 120% focused, and always thought about team first. I've never, I think people have seen me never playing for myself. I'm always there for the team, scoring runs. I can't be selfish with the team. So all these people, these things, they don't really look, but it's fine. I mean, India needs masala sometimes, so it's fine.
So, talking about Masala, in 2019, you recover at NCA, you take part at Syed Mustaq Ali, then you take part at the IPL. You have a decent outing that year. You score close to 360 odd runs. And then again, a disaster strikes. We get to know that you are banned for 8 months for inadvertently taking a cough syrup which contained a banned substance. And that was a huge, huge shock for all of us, and especially to you. So, how did you then again handle that situation?
I mean, it was like very tough time for me and for my dad also, because like this thing suddenly appears that I'm getting banned because I had this cough syrup which has something in it. I couldn't do much, to be honest. I couldn't do much. I was just shocked, like what is happening, and everyone is calling. What did you take? What did you take? Blah 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 blah. I just took that cough syrup, and obviously there was a substance, but it's okay. I mean, it's part of this life. I feel it was a bit hard time for me when I got the call that you're gonna get banned for a year. They were saying first, but I mean, thanks to BCCI also, they tried their best to cut down the margin of the ban thing, and it came up to 8 months, and then obviously 4 months preview the dates. But I think I felt that I lost the opportunity to play uh, against Sri Lanka. We played, I think Sri Lanka we played at that time when I was banned. Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, and a couple of more tours.
Yeah, go to West Indies.
I felt bad when all these things happened, and I was feeling bad for my dad as well. He was, a lot of questions were coming up. I went to England for 3 months, just to calm myself down and just to relax, because I couldn't do anything in India. No, I can't go to the ground. To be honest, it was like quite depressing time for me. So when I went to when I went to London, where I was staying, I think 1 month I didn't come out of the room only. They I used to go to washroom. That's it, outside. Otherwise, I was always in the room. No, I never used to attend any calls. Except my dad. He was the one who used to ask, "Are you okay?" And couple of others. That's it. Because I was, not everyone knows, but I wasn't well, because a lot of things were coming up on my mind, like what will happen after this. How will I show my face to people that Prithvi Shaw is getting banned for this things. What will the youngsters, what will my fan, how will I come up to them, like how will I show my that Prithvi Shaw back. How will they see me again. So all those stuff were in my mind. You know 1 month was very depressing for me, not going out anywhere. And in fact, they called the family where I was staying. They asked for doctor as well. You need any something health issues or something? And I was like, no, I'm fine, I'll be fine. So yeah, 3 months I was there. And then when the time like when it was time to get back on the field, I came back to India again and went to NCA. That started.
Then you come back to domestic cricket. You have a 50 plus score in your very first match. Couple of matches later, you score a double century. You get selected for the India A Tour of New Zealand. You score 115, 100 odd balls. You get selected for the main tour of both the test match as well as the ODI. You have a decent outing. You come back to India for the IPL 2020. You start the first half of IPL with a bang again, have great cup few matches, and then in the second half of IPL, you have a complete drop in form. You have a string of low scores, even few ducks. You even get dropped from the team. What was happening, Prithvi, then? And then how did you cope with that situation?
I feel like you mentioned, like first 5-6 games were quite good, and then the second phase of the IPL not really scoring well. I I I didn't knew at that point what was happening, but there was something wrong happening with my, maybe with my batting technique. No, like small things, not the whole technique. Just like small mistakes which we do, but we don't really understand what's happening. When you watch yourself and then you realize, okay, these things are happening, but it gets too late. So yeah, that was the only thing I feel, because I was batting really good. First 5-6 matches, I played really well, and then suddenly this patch came, which and the worst thing was I wasn't even like I was scoring ducks. That was like, okay, I never score like ducks, back to back, and that was the game, getting bowled again and again, and getting ducks, which was quite frustrating for me as well. I was wondering what was happening with my batting, but I think again, I started thinking about it, what's happening and all. So I didn't really knew that time, because when I was scoring, like a lot of people were coming to me and praising and all. But when I got out, these early days, I was feeling very alone those times. Uh, so I actually didn't have a clue what to do. So yeah.
Is there something that you could have done differently if you think back now?
If I think, yeah, I mean, if I'm thinking right now, sitting here, I would definitely could have done something different over there. But I feel this, cricket, it's very funny game. There will be ups and downs every time, and
Right.
it's not going to be. There will be more failures than success in this game. So I feel it's just a beginning. Let's see what happens.
And then, Prithvi, after that IPL, you get selected for the India Tour of Australia. You play the very first uh, test match there, which was a pink ball test match. Obviously, it was a huge disaster for the team as well. But obviously, you get dropped the following matches.
Yeah.
And obviously, a lot of memes get made and spread all over social media. And you had to sit out all the matches.
Hmm.
So how tough was it for you during that phase? And what were you doing in that period when you were sitting out and obviously watching others play?
So when I got out, again, it continued after the IPL.
Right.
So obviously it was a different ball game, pink ball, day night match. It wasn't easy, to play in that conditions. And I was playing for the first time in Australia. I mean, the series, first time batting against the best bowlers, the best fast bowlers, in the country. And that time too, I felt something is wrong with my batting, because getting bowled again and again, didn't seem well. So, but I felt I could have got. I felt that I'm gonna play one more game after this, because this was pink ball. Might they give me a chance for the red ball. But obviously, team comes first. Whatever they plan, that's the whatever. I respect that thing. So I get dropped, and going back to the hotel, very uh, looking into the mirror, that what's happening, what has happened to you. It's not about the bowlers who you're facing. It's there's something else. There's something wrong with your batting. Because this is. I was just talking to myself, to be honest. Looking at the mirror, and just talking to myself that this is not you. This is not how you play. You have played a lot of international bowlers. It doesn't matter who is bowling to you, but this is not how you play. Just talking to myself, because quarantine things were there. Bubble, you couldn't go outside much. So a lot of things going in my head. Then had a chat with the support staff over there, coaches, and got a couple of things. Got an advice. What can I do better? I worked on it, and other than that, I was very proud to be in that test match. Winning the test match was more important for me. India winning matches was really, and the best series I've ever been in. So it was a very good series for us, and I really enjoyed the time, the experience I had over there. But yeah, but personally, what I was feeling, my batting was, I was looking myself at, very much worthless for the team right now. I was thinking, my mentally, I was like that much distracted. Yeah, I mean, I couldn't do much over there except training, doing gym, running every day around, all those stuff, and just doing something every day, not thinking much about my batting.
So that's very beautifully said, Prithvi, that the team comes first. And you actually showed it in spirit as well, that when Rishabh hit the winning runs in the last test match, you were the first person to run on the field to actually jump on him and hug him.
Yeah.
Uh, you know, and then what happens is after the last test match, the team for England is announced to play in the home series. And obviously you get dropped from that team. Then again, obviously there's a disappointment. And I'm sure it was hard on you. I'm sure you were not expecting. But still, how did you again cope with that? Because I'm sure it's never easy, because there are these lows and these low moments which can be tough on every person. And you are still kind of 21 only. So you are seeing a lot of lows as well, along with the highs. So how are you coping with those situations?
What I feel, it's better to see everything right now, in this young age. Yeah, I mean, getting dropped again from the Indian team, Indian Test team. Yes, felt bad, but again went to the basics. Again, just covering up my small mistakes what I've did in Australia, just trying to fill those gaps, and got back again. I was like, okay, it's fine. My dad saw me, very disappointed. He never asked me, "Are you all right?" He's very tough for that thing. But that time he could see that I'm not feeling well. Something was going wrong. So we talked, and we went for dinner a couple of times, and just to freshen up our mind and all those stuff. And before going to any other tour, I go to Shirdi for Sai Baba's darshan. And so before Vijay Hazare started, I went there,
Right.
just to pray.
So Prithvi, finally coming back to your recent Vijay Hazare exploits, you've broken all records, you've created new records, and it's all there in public domain. A lot of people have spoken about it. But what we really want to know is that what was going in your mind during that tournament. Please share it with everyone, because it's important not just for people who are in the sports fraternity, but also people from all walks of life.
Uh, I feel that failures are okay, but you have to come back strong. You have to, if something is wrong, go back again, start from the bottom, get your basics right, come back again, get stronger back again. What I've learned, from my coaches, from my dad, from my all the seniors. Even if you are not doing good, you work hard. And if everyone says, Prithvi is very talented, but what I have seen is talent. If there is no hard work in your game, talent doesn't mean anything right now. Finally realized you have to work hard to play this game. Talent will take you somewhere, but without doing hard work, it won't take you there. And me and my dad were used to sit every day, plan every day. Okay, what are you gonna do next? Okay, this what are you gonna do? Not wasting time, eating, getting back to work, doing something, doing shadow practice. Whatever mistakes I've done in Australia, filling those gaps. Looking in the mirror, doing my shadow practice, how I used to do when I was 12.
Mm-hmm.
All those things. After after so many years I was doing those things. My dad used to show me that drills. After 7-8 years, I did that in my house. All those shadow practice and everything with the cone, like little kids, they do now, for the back lift, and all those stuff. I did that again. So it was nice to start again from the bottom. And my dad has taught me, that whatever happens, you have to be strong. You are not from very rich family. You are from a poor family, and you know how to bounce back again and again. You are a kid, that you are a street smart person. You are from the street, and like, whoever it is, you will bounce back. So those things really hits on my mind. And it feels that, okay, it's okay to not getting selected, but it's in our hand that how we come back.
Thank you, Prithvi, for your time. It's really heartening to speak to you always, and the way you answered all your questions so honestly. We wish you the very best for the upcoming season, and we are 100% sure that as long as you put your heart and soul to everything that you do in life, you always come out a winner.
Thank you.
Thank you again.
Thank you.